Hi, welcome back. On this video here, we are going to be practicing section number 7. All right. So I'm glad that you made it. Congratulations again. You are really ready to war, right? So here we're going to be in the practical app 7.php. Now, this section here is asking us to create a database. Can you believe it? We are actually going to create a database. Yeah. Now, once we create a database, we need to create a table, right? Like the one from the lecture. And we're going to put some data and we're going to need to connect to the database and read the data, of course. Oof. Let's go ahead and see how we can do that. Actually, go ahead and you do it yourself first, and then I'll walk you right through it, right? Don't be scared. You can do it. Just watch the lecture there. Just create a very simple database with a very simple table, and that's it. Very simple. Put some data and let's just read it. All right? So go ahead and don't cheat. Try to do it, even if it takes you a day or two, and then come back to this video and see if our code matches. Hopefully you were able to pause the video. All right. If not, just pause it right now. Don't cheat. All right. Anyways, so hopefully you paused the video and did it. And if you had any issues, don't worry. Everything's gonna be clear now. So let's go to our localhost PHP my admin. How about that? Localhost PHP my admin. And here we're gonna create a little simple database. Databases, create, and what do I want to call this? My list. Wow, that's a crazy database name, right? Create. It's gonna be right here. I'm gonna click on it. Now we're gonna create a table. It's gonna be called the reports. That's a strange name too, right? My list and reports is gonna have 3 fields. That's fine. Go. We're gonna put the ID here in the first one, and we're gonna set the ID to 11. We're gonna make sure it's auto increment. Make sure the primary is there. All right, that we're done here. All right, second's gonna be days of the week. Excuse me. And the this one's gonna be, I don't know, days. This is gonna be months. Let's just make it simple. Let's just make it simple. Let's not go and months and let's just make it simple. Why make it hard, right? Um, Days of the week is fine. I was fine without. I don't know why I deleted it right there. And months, I don't know. I just wanted to name it something different. And varchar, let's just put here, I don't know, 32 characters is fine. Months, yeah, 32 is fine. All right, we're just gonna create something very simple and fast so that way you can get some reinforced information on it. Let's just save it. We are done now. So let's go ahead, and now that we're done with the database, let's put some data into it. Insert, and for the ID, I'm just gonna leave it the way it is since it's gonna increment automatically. For the days of the week here, I'm just going to put Monday. Monday. And months is going to be, I don't know, January. And I'm just gonna uncheck this. I'm gonna insert another data into here, and days of the week I'm gonna put Tuesday here, and months February. All right, so I think I'm good here. I'm just gonna click go. All right, we inserted 2 rows into the database. Now let's go ahead and build that. Let's connect to the database so that way we can pull some data out of here. Let's go ahead and put this. I can connect to the database right here if I wanted to. All right, so let's just go ahead and do that. But I like to do it on top all the time, so I'm not gonna break the cycle. So let's go ahead and do that here. And we got functions. Let's make sure our functions and header are there. I'm just gonna do it in between here. That's fine. All right, so what I'm gonna do is open a PHP tag, create some space. So how do we connect to the database? Do you remember what we use? We use a function called mysqli underscore connect. And we also assign it to a variable, but let's just do it this way so that way you can see it. QLI underscore connect is going to give you that connection. Now we need to pass it a couple parameters, right? First, we need to pass it the server, right? We are in localhost. So that's the location right here, localhost right there. Right? We need to know, let it know exactly where it's getting all the information, right? Well, we have a username, but actually it's root. We don't have a really custom made username yet. Then we don't have any password. And the last parameter is the name of the database. And the name of the database is my list. My list. I think it's right here. My list, yeah. All right, let's check out connections here. This is the most crucial part right here. Once you connect, then things could be a lot easier. So let's do an if statement and say here if, oh, actually, matter of fact, let's just check. Let's just assign this to a variable called connection. That way we can check the connection a lot better than just putting all this in the if statement, you know? It's a lot better to handle that. Let's just say if not connection, we do something, right? And we're just gonna echo. Actually, we're gonna make everything stop executing. We're gonna display a message saying something like database connection failed. And we are going to concatenate something. This function mysqli error, since we gave a lot more information with it, and I'm just gonna pass it in the connection, so that way it tests that. It tests it to see if it's false or if it's true. And depending on that, will give us an error and let us know a lot more information than just this die here with its tests. And else, we're just gonna say great. Great, we are connected. We are connected. And if I'm going fast, remember this is just a reinforcement. You should know this. And if you don't, just pause the video and go back to your lecture and find out how to do this. But you can watch me and you should be able to remember this stuff that we went over. I know this is new information. It could be a little hard, but all right. So let's open this in the browser. Let's go back to our application. Let's just click and it says we are connected. So we are good to go with that. All right. Perfect. So now I don't want to display that we are connected thing there. I'm just gonna take it off. I just wanted to see that we are connected. All right. I really want to have this though there. So now that we are connected, let's go ahead and make the query. And I'm just gonna make the query down here. No, really, I'm just gonna make it up here. That's fine. Let's make it up here. So the first thing that we need to make the query is the query. Let's just make a query. Remember that we need to make the query. It's gonna be all strings, but we need to save it somewhere. So I like to save it in a variable called query. So let's do a SQL statement here called select all, which that's what this asterisk means. All from where? Where are we selecting everything from? The reports, because we already connected to the database. We don't need to do anything else with this. So we want to see everything here because we are using that database now. All right, we are connected to this database right here, so we are using it. So let's go ahead and see everything from reports. All right, so I think we're done with that. And now let's go ahead and send this query to the database with MySQL command called, let me just do this first. It's called MySQLi query, I believe. Yes, there we go. Perfect. And we're gonna send it in with a connection because it needs to know how to connect. And then the parameter is the query that we are sending. And remember that we are assigning it. We need to assign it something else so that way we can check on the connection, right? Just like we did with this here. We can check. Let's check on that query, and we assign it something like result. And let's check the query and see if it went through. If not result, then we want to see something. We can say something like die. But in this case, I want to actually, that's fine. Die. Let's use die. That's fine. It's the right way to do it. Query failed in big right there. All right. So let's check it out. Let's see if we made it. Refresh. Ooh, undefined constant result. Oh, okay. I forgot this here. There we go. Let's just refresh. And we have no messages. Look at that. So we are good to go. We are good. Yeah, so we connected. Perfect. All right. So now that we have that, we have this query, we're sending this, and we have this result already here because we are selecting everything from that table. Let's go ahead and find a way to display right here on the content side. All right. And how we are going to do that by using a while loop. Remember that? So let's go ahead and open our PHP tags and let's use the while loop right here. And let's just say while. Okay. So while something is true, why is it going to be true? We need to use a function called mysql. Everything is mysqli. Fetch, and let's do a source just to bring the associative array instead of a regular one. I don't know if you remember that. And we're gonna pass it in the result from the query. That is true. By the way, we know that result is true, and we need to use something like, I don't know, records here. Records. We need to use a variable to handle this result here. All right. So we are gonna loop around all the results here. Right. What we get back is an associative array, right? But we need to loop through it, and we're gonna use this while loop to loop through it using this function right here also. So we're gonna call this records or record. That's fine, record. All right. So how we are going to be doing this? First, remember when we use the print r. So we use the print r here, and let's just check it out. Let's check it out check out the associative array. Let's check out how it looks. Refresh. There we go. That's how it looks. So we got an array here. Has an ID of 1 days of the week, and then we have Monday, months, January, right? All right. So the days of the week key has a value of Monday, as you can see right there, and the key months has the value of January. All right. So, and the other one has the value of February and the value of Tuesday. So how can we just print out some of this stuff out instead of everything? Have you thought about that? I mean, right now we're just using print r to print all this. We want to print out the months, right? The days. And so how can we do that? Well, we use the key, right? We want to print out this, we need to use the key to print out the value, right? If we want to echo this, we use the key. So let's just use this key right here. Right here. Let's use that, right? So record, I'm just gonna say that, and let's just echo this right here. We're gonna use the record and the key. That should give us what we need, right? Let's make sure we push on, because that is a string value coming back. Let's come back here, refresh. Look at that. We are echoing Monday and Tuesday, right? Because those are the days of the week. That column has those values there. So we are displaying that. You see that? Perfect. So we are displaying all that information there. Great. So as you can see here, we were able to create a connection to the database, right? Very simple. We even checked it here if their connection was right. And we even checked, we did a query right here. We send it in through this function, mysqli_query. We checked that query, all right, because that's the right way of doing. You want to make sure that you're connecting and you don't have any mistakes. And then here we're using a while loop to loop through those results. So hopefully this section here reinforced what you learned in the chapter, in the section. And I see you in the next one. Take care.